Do you want to save more money this year? I know I do. That's why I'm committing to a no-buy challenge, 1 week every month where I cut out unnecessary spending. Many people take on this challenge to save for retirement, emergencies, and travel. And in this process, they transform their spending habits and learn to appreciate what they already have. So, how does this sound to you? Are you in? I'd love to be your accountability partner. Hi, I'm Dana from Dana Find Well, and I'm here to help you find wellness after 50. And so today, we're talking about how to challenge ourselves to spend less and save more. A no-buy challenge is something we all can do to save money. So the way this works is that for a set period of time, and in this case, it's 1 week each month, we commit to buying only necessities and avoid impulse purchases. I mentioned in my last video that I'm doing a low buy year, and this challenge is one way that will help me stay on track. So why take on a no buy challenge in the first place? For one, saving money is powerful because it can help us reach our own financial goals. I think most of us have financial goals. Maybe it's paying off debt, building an emergency fund, or saving for a big trip. But if we constantly are spending our money on small, unnecessary things, we don't leave room for those bigger priorities. This challenge will help us be more intentional with our money. But it's not just about saving, it's also about transforming our spending habits. It's so easy to shop out of boredom, stress, or impulse. A no-buy week creates a break in that pattern. It forces us to stop and ask, do I really need this? Over time, that awareness can completely change our relationship with money. And then there's the joy of appreciating what we already have. Have you ever looked way in the back of your drawer and found a favorite shirt you forgot about? Or cooked a fast and simple meal at home and realized you didn't need takeout? A no-buy challenge helps us rediscover the things we've already invested in and actually enjoy. And finally, let's talk about freedom. Because when we stop spending on things we don't need, we gain more control over our future. Whether that means funding early retirement, traveling more, or simply reducing stress, every dollar we save is a step towards greater financial independence. Before we start, let's get clear on our finances. Review your budget. Look at last year's spending. What did you overspend on? What can you cut back on? I personally track mine on Google Sheets and update it every year. Set savings goals. Think about where you want your money to go. For example, I've already saved for my IRAs and emergency fund this year, but I still need to save for my 2030 European trip and my fund, so I'm setting aside $50 a month for each. I also want to create a kitchen in my granny flat, so that's $200 a month. So I want to save at least $300 a month towards these specific things. Any extra savings gets added to my account. Take a moment to reflect. What were your biggest purchases last year? For me, it was a birthday business trip to LA. I actually have a video of this trip. Also, a trip to Hawaii for my Auntie Flo's 90th birthday party. I have a video about this trip as well. I'll link both videos in the description below. A new iPhone, which I use for my thrifting business and YouTube. And finally, a small action camera and microphone for YouTube. Some of these were necessary, some were splurges. Looking back helps me be more mindful moving forward. Here's how I'm structuring my no-buy challenge. Feel free to customize yours. Allowed buys. Okay, So this might be different for everyone, but it's for essentials like rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries that are on my list, and no impulse pickups. Also included is gas, medical needs, and unexpected repairs. I'm also including gifts for friends and family, cautionary buys, business-related purchases only if absolutely necessary. For me, I'm going to add thrifting for inventory in this category. Only if I absolutely have nothing to list for my no-spend week can I go thrifting. Other items such as shipping supplies or any other supplies related to my business or YouTube. Going out with friends. Sometimes I have lunch with my friends from my drumming class, so I need to decide if I still want to join them. No-go spends. I feel like no-go buys will be pretty obvious to me. No clothes, personal items, or snacks or treats. I'll need to stay away from impulse shopping online or when I go to the grocery store. During this week, I won't be eating out or grabbing takeout. So this means meal planning and batch cooking for me. One of the biggest lessons from a no-buy challenge is learning to break the cycle of overconsumption. We live in a world that constantly tells us to buy more. Advertisements, social media, and even influencers are always pushing us to upgrade, replace, or stock up on things we don't actually need. And over time, that clutter, both physical and mental, adds up. Many of us end up spending on things we barely use while struggling to fund the experiences that really bring us joy, like travel, hobbies, or even early retirement. Clutter overload. Every unnecessary purchase takes up space in our home, making it harder to stay organized. A cluttered space often leads to a cluttered mind, increasing stress. Let's talk about something we don't always realize: how shopping can become a coping mechanism. Shopping releases dopamine, the same feel-good chemical that our brains produce when we eat delicious food, exercise, or even fall in love. That's why buying something new, whether it's a cute outfit, the latest tech gadget, or a fancy latte, feels so good in that moment. But here's the problem. That dopamine hit is temporary. The excitement of a new purchase fades quickly. And before you know it, we're back online, scrolling and looking for the next thing to buy. This cycle can become a habit. Every time we feel bored, stressed, or even just a little restless, we reach for our wallets. I know I've been guilty of this. There have been times when I've had a rough day and suddenly I'm online convincing myself that a new planner or kitchen gadget will magically make me feel more productive. Or I'm busily working away and I see an ad for a product which suddenly takes me out of my work zone and makes me stop to check out prices on Amazon. That's the worst. So, how do we stop? Next time you feel the urge to shop, take a deep breath and ask yourself, am I trying to fill an emotional gap with a purchase? If the answer is yes, try doing something else first. Go for a walk, journal, or call a friend. Create a wish list instead. If you really want something, write it down and wait 30 days. Most of the time, you'll realize you didn't actually need it. Find a new reward system. If shopping has been your way to feel good, replace it with something else. Maybe it's treating yourself to a spa night at home, planning a fun day out, or saving up for a bigger goal that really excites you. The key is recognizing that happiness doesn't come from stuff. It comes from experiences relationships, and personal growth. We talk a lot about overconsumption, but what about the benefits of underconsumption? What happens when we shift away from buying more to using less? First and foremost, spending less means keeping more of your hard-earned money. When you're not constantly upgrading, replacing, or impulse buying, you're able to put your money towards things that are really important. Maybe that's travel, early retirement, or even just the peace of mind that comes with financial security. Less stuff, less stress. Living with less clutter means living with less stress. Research shows that a cluttered environment can lead to increased anxiety and mental fatigue. When our homes are filled with things we don't need, it creates a sense of chaos. But when we simplify and own only what we use and love, our space becomes calmer, and so does our mind. Better for the planet. And let's not forget that underconsumption is also better for the environment. The less we buy, the less waste we create. Fast fashion, plastic packaging, and single-use products all contribute to pollution and resource depletion. Choosing to buy less and buy better is one of the most impactful ways we can live more sustainably. Perhaps the most profound benefit of underconsumption is that it shifts our mindset. Instead of always looking for more, we start to appreciate what we already have. We stop chasing happiness through material things and begin to find it in experiences, relationships, and personal growth. For me, I think this is the ultimate goal. Not to have more, but to live better. One of the best ways to stay motivated is to track your progress in a no-buy diary. Instead of focusing on what you can't buy, flip the script and celebrate what you didn't buy. You can write it down anywhere, but what I prefer is keeping a spreadsheet. That way, it's super easy to add everything up. Every time you're tempted to buy something, write it down. At the end of the week, review your list and add up how much you saved. For example, if I skipped a $5 coffee, a $20 impulse Amazon order, and a $50 dinner out, that's $75 saved in 1 week. Over a month, $300. Over a year, $3,600. These numbers add up quickly, and it's a powerful reminder of why we're doing this. For even more motivation, color in your no-buy days on a calendar. It can trigger a spark in you, which makes you want to do more no-buy days. So, are you in? Let's do this no-buy challenge together and keep each other accountable. So let me know in the comments, what's the first thing you're cutting out this week? Or what's your biggest savings goal this year? I'll be sharing my updates as I go, so stay tuned for that. Let's make 2025 the year we spend intentionally and save for what really matters. If you're looking for more personal growth tips, check out my Starting Over playlist. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you find wellness today and every day. See you next time.